night. The threat of missing any gasp, signifying the end of our mother's life, was an anti-sleep drug. Jameson lowered his tall body close to her bed and clasped her hand in his, letting his head fall toward our mother. All the gravity in the room pulled toward her. The signature characteristics of my mom's face were already fading, her glasses gone, her Irish skin even paler than normal. Her piercing blue eyes that matched ours, hidden behind shuttered lids. Her sly grin, a sidekick to her quiet humor, limp and flattened. "I love you so much, Mom," Jameson choked out. His words were as choppy as Lake Champlain on a gusty morning. I felt a sob swelling in my throat. We'd been navigating the grim reality of our mother's aggressive cancer for over a year, but uttering words that acknowledged her rapidly approaching death was what made it feel as real as my racing heart. Her death was about to shift from a murky question to a cold, hard fact. And it was when our voices cracked the air with final goodbyes that the imminence of losing her hurtled toward me like a runaway train. I held my mother's hand, trying to soak up the dwindling heat of her skin, clinging to the faint beat of her pulse, asking myself the same question over and over and over. What do you say while you still have the chance? 5 months before I was in that hospice room, staring down the barrel of my mother's death, I was running 100 miles through the Cascade Mountains that skirt the sleepy town of Easton, Washington. My morning had started outside the brick red fire station in the town center, alongside 150 other runners sporting race bibs and hydration packs. Wispy clouds floated overhead as we crossed the start line on the quiet dirt road. It was my 3rd time doing this particular race, the Cascade Crest 100, and my 5th time tackling the 100-mile distance on foot. As I climbed up a rocky trail that shoots to the top of the course's highest peak, I started thinking about that collection of 100-mile runs and how much my relationship with them had changed over the last few years. I'd finished my very first 100-miler 6 summers ago, and it had felt so different from later ones, where my steps were infinitely more confident, where both my body and mind found ease through the inevitable fatigue that hits during 100 miles of human-powered travel. That inaugural crack at triple-digit mileage was by far the hardest thing I'd ever attempted. No part of me was at ease for a single mile of the race. My heart rate crested triple digits before we even started running. When I'd crossed that start line in Southern Oregon in a sea of headlamps, I had no idea if I could actually cover 100 miles with my own 2 feet and make it all the way to the finish line. That uncertainty defined so much of the run and was why I'd wanted to tackle the distance in the first place. I'd done plenty of long-distance trail running and racing before I signed up for that first 100-mile run, with a number of 50Ks and 50-milers under my belt. But a 100-miler was a different beast. It would mean running straight through the night and well into the next day, moving forward over mountains for over 24 hours with 0 minutes of sleep, contending with the extra challenging variety of problems that pop up during such a ridiculous volume of miles and hours. Hammered quadriceps, debilitating stomach issues, trailside hallucinations, blisters the size of silver dollars. I debated registering for the Pine to Palm 100-mile endurance run in Southern Oregon for months. It was ultimately a curiosity about whether I could actually run 100 miles that motivated me to sign up. The question mark that punctuated the goal was terrifying, in the most alluring way. I wanted to be trying things that felt at least a little unachievable, things that unleashed an army of butterflies in my stomach. And that was exactly what the Pine to Palm 100 did. As I hovered my finger over the bright green register button on the race's sign-up page, I felt thousands of winged nerves swarming me from the inside out. My most reliable training partners in the months leading up to Pine to Palm were uncertainty and an excited fear, and I loved their constant presence in my miles around the wooded trails of Eugene and the foothills of the Cascades. They reassured me that I was running toward the edge of my limits and trying to see if I could keep going, that I was chasing an opportunity to surprise myself with the depth of my strength and resilience, that I was on those trails for all of the reasons I was a runner in the first place, because I wanted to explore just how much I could do and try to redefine that again and again, just like I'd watched my mom do for years. My mother was every reason I became a runner.